Hey, it's Gavin here. If you're running an agency or you're working with clients and you want to try to find a quick and cheap way that they can submit job requests or assistance for help, somewhere simple, just with a form, and then you can easily monitor that somewhere, and then you can confirm or deny if you want to handle those jobs, then this is the place to be, because I'm going to show you how to do that just in a few minutes with Zapier, and all you need is Google Forms and Google Sheets. So let's jump right into it. So this Zap is a bit more complex than a few of the other use cases I've shown in the past and in my other videos. It requires several steps, and we're also using things like conditions and filters, which are really powerful when you get into the nitty-gritty stuff of Zapier. So as I said, this is essentially going to create a very simple low-cost platform for us to have our clients that we're working with submit tasks, essentially task submissions, and they mentioned the priority. Obviously, this is a very watered down version. You could get a lot more complex with this, but I'm trying to set the groundwork with this example and just show you kind of what's possible. So in this case, all we are using is we've got a Google Sheet with a Google Form, which obviously that's all free and that's all lovely. And then we've got our Zap. So I'm just going to give you a quick overview of what happened. So I'm going to submit the task. I'm just going to explain through what the Zap does and then show you what each step is actually containing in the Zap. So let's say for this, we have to give our email. So let's say it's gavin@gmail.com, and the task is, hey, please contact me about setting up my Pipedrive or Zapier, something like that. And they say the priority is medium. That's awesome. And they submit. Obviously, this Google form is just publicly available, but you'll give it to the students, not to the students, you'll give it to your clients just to make sure that it's not spread out. Obviously, this isn't the most secure implementation ever, but it's something if you want to spin up quickly, you have that available. So first things first, the job comes in and you see you've got confirmed and processed. So in our Zap side, what is happening is this row is just popped in here, but obviously we're getting new rows and updated rows. And the reason why I've added the update step is because we want to know when that job is being confirmed. We don't want to add it to our CRM unless it's been confirmed by our team or by ourselves, etc. So in this case, we get a new row in. If I do that test, you're going to see. If I can move my big head, we're going to load a row in. We've got H. So there we go. Hey, please contact me about setting up my Pipedrive or Zapier, and the last column is false. That's our confirmed column. And that is all awesome. That's dandy. So next step, what we're doing is we are only going to continue if that column confirmed is equal to true. So that means we've clicked that button. But there's also another step, and that is I'm checking this process column because we don't want for some reason someone to update this by mistake in the Google Sheet, or they uncheck it and then check it again, and then the process happens again, you get a second task. You want to make sure that we're only processing each job once. So we're going to touch on that field at the end, but for now, that's why we're doing that double check. That's to stop double submissions, essentially. And also a pro tip is you want to filter early and you want to filter often, because if you filter early, it stops all of these other steps from getting processed as tasks in Zapier, and that's obviously good for our quotas if we're on a non-unlimited plan. And then in the next step, once we pass that filter, in this case, we're not going to pass this filter, so we can quickly test that. So continue. The Zap would not have continued. So let's do it again. So let's say now we confirm. And we're going to test this row again. Load more. We get a new row in. Same row, but because it's updated, now we have true, and processed doesn't have a value. So let's see if that will continue here. Continue. So remember, it does not contain true for the last column. So let's see, and boom, we would have continued that. So literally the rest of it is very straightforward. So whatever CRM you're using or wherever you want to push this to, maybe you send yourself an email alert, something like that. But in this case, it's create a task in Agile, and we're just using the fields that come in. We set the priority. I'm just manually setting the priority because I didn't do a mapping. But usually you need to do a mapping. But I'm not going to go this step too deeply because it really depends which CRM you're using, where you want to, what you want to do with it, etc. And then in the last step, this is when the process comes in, because in the future we don't want to double handle this notification. So we have an update spreadsheet row task, and we want to update the row that we just got in. So that value we get from the first step, we just take the ID row in that case. I'll remove that one. And then we're just updating process to a hard-coded value of true. And we can say, okay. And if we test that action, we're going to see this pop up to true. And that's it. So again, this was just a summary of a simple implementation, just to kind of get your gears turning a bit, get you thinking of what's possible. And what this is doing, again, is it's given our potential clients that we're working with to submit jobs without having to email us or something. It's just a systemized way to have it all in one place. We can do an overview of what's coming in. We can say confirmed, and then when we confirm it, it gets created in our to-do list or our CRM, or we get an email about it, whatever we want to do with it. But we also want to make sure we're not double processing. So that was a really cool thing I wanted to show with the check boxes, because that's going to be very useful in the future if you want to use more Google Sheets type stuff. So again, if you really found value in this video, or if you took out something away that you found beneficial, I'd obviously love and appreciate a thumbs up. It's really great for me to see that people are enjoying and getting value from the videos I'm creating, and it gets me excited to create more, obviously. And it also gets my videos in front of a lot of other people like yourself who want to use Zapier and other automations to save themselves time, have more time to focus on the things you enjoy in your business, and ultimately grow your business and have time for the things you enjoy. So I'd really appreciate that thumbs up. And as I've mentioned, the bonus in the description, I've got my free Zapier Jumpstart guide. And in that guide, I basically lay out some of the top things I know many beginners struggle with when they get into Zapier. It's often around, say, how data works, or how do I look up and make a change to this object in this this API, the CRM. It's complaining about IDs. It's those type of things. So it's really the things that I think many beginners run into as a roadblock, and I've experienced from beginners, and things that I explain in a simple way. I try to not keep it too technical. Have to introduce a bit of technicality at times, but I keep it as simple as I can. And that's really going to jumpstart your Zapier learning and get you on a much better path and over those initial hurdles. So grab that free guide, throw me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it, and chat soon. Cheers.